We should be live.
Here we
Live.
are.
So this was week number 6. Had a couple surprises, my game being included. Like I was telling Cody beforehand, I put up just this hodgepodge kind of team, and somehow they pulled it off. Of course, DeAndre Swift scoring 24 points out of nowhere helped me a lot.
Yeah, you had a 0. You had a goose egg on there.
So let's get screen share. Alrighty.
It's
So
good
my
that Brandon lost.
The what?
No. Brandon's not the one we want to lose. Is he?
Well, he kind of is because he started so strong.
Yeah.
I'm tied for first with him. Yep.
Despite having you have the second lowest total score in the league.
Yep. First
by a pretty big margin too.
Yeah.
Yep. Second to lowest. I looked at that earlier because I knew that would be brought up.
Yeah, I think Harrison's the first lowest, and I mean it's not like I'm far ahead of you
by 3 points. Harrison and I are separated from the bottom by 3 points.
Wow.
Well, your team either has to start scoring better or your record's going to start reflecting that score because it never lasts all year like that.
That's very true, especially have you seen – well, I mean, we'll get to my team.
All of our teams are falling apart. It's such a weird year.
Yeah. Because I had a year where I won like 8 in a row. And then I got to the playoffs and could not do crap. I was full of running backs, and I had 0 wide receivers, and my team crumbled. The only reason I made it to the playoffs was because of the 8 wins, and that was the year Devonta Freeman blew up, and I picked him up, and I rode that wave right until the beginning of the playoffs and crashed and burned.
I picked Devonta Freeman the year after he blew up, and he was terrible.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've had him.
That happens. Those running backs, man, except for Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's, I think, only going to improve for the next solid 2 years as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, and Christian McCaffrey, when he's healthy, he's been ridiculously consistent.
He has been. He's been one of those. I didn't think he was going to do anything when he got there. I thought he would be kind of too small. Yeah. And he surprised me. He proved me wrong.
Yeah.
But these small running backs these days, these Josh Jacobs, Le'Veon Bells, Christian McCaffreys, they're the big thing right now.
Yeah.
They're basically slot receivers who just catch some of their passes from a handoff position.
Yeah. Little shovel pass here and there every once in a while.
He's low-key to Henry's Shrek.
Shrek and Loki.
Oh, so yeah, like I said, I had some zeros on here. I had a 0.8 and Marvin Jones. I still don't know how I did this. Besides DeAndre Swift's big game, and the Dolphins getting me 12 points.
Deshaun Watson's
32 points.
Yeah, that's in a loss.
Nothing to balk at.
The Texans have had a rough year.
Yeah. They've lost some close games.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what the Lions do every year. They're almost beating everybody.
Almost.
Almost.
We call it the Auburn.
The Auburn. They don't have Auburn's luck though. You have to admit, Auburn's got some really good luck.
I was watching a YouTube video earlier, and it was like remarkable plays of the last 5 years, and like half of them were Auburn.
Exactly.
It was the double tipped pass for a touchdown, and then the kick six.
Make it when it counts. Yeah.
The prayer and Jordan Hare. Didn't that happen the same year?
Yes.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Because I watched the prayer and I was watching it live. I thought, fucking Auburn luck, man. Of course they're going to get something like that and win. And then the kick six.
Love it.
Yeah, there's something in the air.
I mean, that's our only hope is to beat Bama this year. For the Gus Bus to continue to purchase fuel
watch that. They'll beat Alabama, and then they'll like say he's the best coach ever, and then they'll give him a raise or something again.
I mean, I think he just needs to. They need to force some a little more oversight on him. But as much as he's getting paid, you can't really have that kind of oversight. But he's just not that good of a recruiter. I think he's a solid coach, but I think we don't have enough depth for his execution to work.
Yeah.
Well, and just the quarterback position at Auburn right now is just a toss-up which version of him you're going to get each game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. He kind of reminds me of like a Baker Mayfield without the talent. Because he's got that attitude like Baker Mayfield, but he has like little of the talent of Baker Mayfield.
I think when he's on, he's a better runner than Baker Mayfield. He's super athletic. It's just right now he's just in his head. That's where most of this is coming from.
It's got to be.
There's a lot of pressure on him. I mean, Auburn's a big school. They're playing the best teams right now. They've had a tough few weeks, so maybe he'll bounce back, but I have a feeling he's going to be totally mediocre for most of the year.
He could turn it around. You're right, though. To both, there's a strong probability of either or happening.
Yeah, he'll have a couple of games where he goes off. One of them will probably be the Iron Bowl.
Yeah,
that's all we need.
Yeah, we'll see.
That season of W.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah.
This game. So I don't think there were any giant surprises here except for DeAndre Swift. Deshaun Watson's produced all year. His team's just terrible, but that probably helps his numbers because he's got to pass late in the game.
It's always a shootout.
Yeah,
and that always helps.
The last time we said this, though, was about Dak, and he got injured like hours after we said it.
Yeah. Ooh, poor Dak. That was that was a nasty injury.
Oh, there is one other surprise in this game because Brandon's kicker had 20 points and almost almost got the game for him.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, if he had a mediocre kicker or an average kicker, your score would have looked a lot more impressive.
That's got to be a young kicker because I don't recognize that name, and that's a very
young Koo
name. Yeah, that's a very memorable name. I would know if I'd heard that before.
He's been around a couple of years, I think, like 3 years maybe. I think he was started off at the Chargers, and then he missed a bunch of field goals, and they released him, and then he kind of came back. I think it's kind of like one of those Daniel Carlson type things.
Okay.
Where he went somewhere, missed a bunch of field goals, went to another team, and then kind of got his shit together.
Yeah. It looks like he had about half their points for that game.
Yeah. But yeah, his kicker, DeAndre Swift, I'm waiting for Devontae Adams to kind of come out and do what he's supposed to. I mean, every week he's projected like 13 points. I think I saw it like the first week.
Yeah.
I'm just watching Chase's dog.
Just looking at going down. Good boy.
Yeah. My dog's in here too, but she's in the floor.
And here's Kent.
Here he is. Hey, buddy.
Hey there.
Drinking that White Claw?
Howdy, fellas. How are you?
Good. You know what Sean just said? He said that, oh, nice. Attaboy. He said that Bo Nix is like a Baker Mayfield with less talent.
Without the talent.
Without the talent. Okay. Sorry.
I did.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. We might have talked about that, Sean. I've heard a few people say that. I can't disagree.
I mean, at this stage in his career, though. I mean, I definitely see that there's
at this stage
opportunity for growth and advancement.
Oh yeah, I mean he's only a sophomore, so he does have room to grow.
The thing about Baker is his attitude that needed adjusting and his dickishness. He was good the whole time he was pulling his shit.
Yeah, I still remember the video of him getting tackled into a wall by a cop.
That was the best hit. The best tackle on him ever.
And I remember watching the video, like this guy does not look like an athlete at all, and it was just because he was super drunk.
Yeah. Him trying to take that step
was-
away and just
He
getting
tried to run away and just could not go in a straight line. So makes sense.
the year or the football season after that happened, it was on the first game day, and I saw that and I busted out laughing because I thought it was hilarious. And Brittany's looking at it like, "Oh my god, what do you do?" And I'm like, "No, this guy's complete and total dick. He deserves
Yeah.
this."
Yeah, I do think he deserved it. He seems like, at the very least, an entertaining guy. Probably exhausting to be around, but
Yeah,
some of the best athletes are like that.
he does seem to have kind of toned it down a little bit.
Yeah, he seems to have mellowed.
And especially in those commercials.
Well, I think he's gotten
and
humbled in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah,
because even in his commercials, he kind of seems to even make fun of himself. So I think he's kind of not taking himself as seriously as he used to.
We're talking about Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, and that
think he's doing it right.
Corona commercial,
yeah.
where they're talking to that one guy that I don't even know who the hell that other guy
I
is.
told you not to call my cell phone.
Who is the other guy?
I don't know, Baby Bacon or something.
Lil
Alrighty.
Bunny
I don't know,
or
man.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
it's
heard it
not
on
just
I
me.
heard them talk about him on the radio. I have no clue who he is. That commercial really bugs me because I like Snoop Dogg, even the sellout ass that he is, but I didn't like that other guy at all. He was frustrating.
You know, I thought Tekashi 6ix9ine was a cartoon character for a long time. I'm upset that he's a real person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he pretty much is still a cartoon character in real life.
Garbage.
I'm surprised he's alive. Isn't he the one who rolled over on everybody?
Rat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ain't got no
That's how
room for the rat.
that's how
Yeah,
he
he-
got out.
Not to mention he
Mhm.
provides nothing of entertainment value or service to anyone. He's completely useless.
I watched one of his music videos, and that was, I think, well, I only watched like the first 45 seconds, but I'll never get that 45 seconds back. It's garbage. It's like a Katy Perry video on acid.
Mm-mm.
I love do less for KP.
Sorry, Kent. What do you think about this game, my game? Anything jump out at you? Any surprises to you? We mentioned that the DeAndre Swift 24 points was a huge surprise. It was to me, definitely to me.
Also, just the Lions winning comfortably is a huge surprise.
Yeah, of course it was the Jags.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Cody.
I'll take what I can get.
Swift was
The Falcons
surprised
did the same.
because of his production up until this point. But I mean, he's a rookie, and I mean, we all knew coming into it that he is supremely talented. So if he gets loose and gets hot,
Yeah.
it's not surprising that he can throw up a big game.
He reminds me, who was that Tampa Bay, the little gerbil hamster guy? Kent. He was playing for Tampa Bay when we were getting rip roaring rowdy.
Oh, the muscle hamster, Doug Martin.
Yes.
Doug Martin.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Doug Martin was super jacked. He was like 5'8", but
Yeah.
yeah, I love Doug Martin because he was right on the tail end of Alstott there, and they had those two beasts.
Mm-mm-mm.
I didn't watch Doug Martin enough to know if he's comparable, and I haven't watched DeAndre Swift either because the one Lions game that aired here, he didn't play. He had like 3 touches.
Yeah, he's definitely more
It's
runner.
tough to be a running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, because a guy like Doug Martin, who's on top for 2 seasons in a row, I mean, I don't think he was ever a leading rusher in the league, but I mean, he was a top 5 guy. It's just a career like that can go in no time.
Yeah.
Sad.
Marshawn Lynch is probably the only one to really keep it going and go out on his own terms.
Adrian Peterson.
Well, yeah,
Well, I
he's
guess, yeah,
fucking-
Marshawn went out.
Yeah. Is Adrian Peterson healthy right now?
Yeah, he's relevant.
Mhm.
He's very relevant.
Yeah, he's doing quite well for Detroit.
I was just asking
Yeah.
because of DeAndre Swift's game. I'm a Lions fan, but I haven't checked this week, and like I said, it never airs here, so I can't watch it.
I think it's a hot hand situation, Cody. Adrian Peterson has been their lead guy. I mean, he's getting about 15 or 16 touches a game on the ground. I don't know what his involvement in the passing game is, but I'm pretty sure the whole plan was have a vet back, especially somebody like AP who's really good in pass protection and knows pretty much every system in the NFL, how long he's been around, to kind of ease in DeAndre Swift. And I imagine you're kind of it's going to be, instead of AP being the lead guy and Swift getting touches, it's going to go more like this, maybe even like that.
Yeah. Well, I hope so, because it went well this game.
True.
I hope they can just commit to some kind of game plan.
Well, I did have one thing from my team, is the big news about this guy. I don't know why they're doing it. I think this is a dumb move on their part. But Tua starting in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and Fitzpatrick is apparently
And he's
really
been doing
upset about
5.
it. He's been the last couple of weeks. He's done really well.
I
Well,
would actually be upset about it too, because
the Dolphins are notorious for their terrible decisions.
yeah,
It's not really. I'm not surprised. I mean, yeah, it would have been any other team. Absolutely, that's shocking all. But the Dolphins doing it. I mean, this is a team that passed up Drew Brees. You can't even count all or name all the things they've done in the past 3 years, or not 3 years, but 5-10 years. Have just been atrocious.
I just don't understand.
Tank season.
I don't understand it, because I mean they're like 3-3,
Mhm.
so they still have a chance of the playoffs. Maybe not, but Fitzpatrick is doing fine, and why not just ride that? And then if they get to the point they're not going to make the playoffs, fine, and they can just run him into the ground. It's not like they're really probably going to bring him back next year anyway.
Yeah.
So, as much as I love seeing that Tua is going to play, I do think it is pretty stupid on their part. We'll say that.
We'll get Frank Gore down there with 7 fantasy points this year, though. He's 100 years old.
Yeah.
He is. Speaking of a guy who's played for forever, I mean,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah,
with you,
yeah.
Sean. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, Fitzpatrick is not the reason the Dolphins have lost games. We usually talk about bad Fitzpatrick and then Fitzmagic, where he'll throw 5 touchdowns one game and then turn right around and throw 5 interceptions the next game. No, he's been really solid and consistent. One of the more consistent players week in and week out for all 6 games this year. The move doesn't make any sense at all to me. I mean, I'm glad for Tua, but I'm kind of heartbroken for Fitz, because I mean, I feel like he actually had that team. Not like, I think that he had the team. It was his team. It felt like people were rallying behind him. But I'm excited to see Tua, though.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I mean, maybe he's got that spark. Maybe, there's a lot we can't see. I mean, we're obviously great coaches from Alabama to South Florida. But maybe he's got that spark that they need, or the coaches think they need. Team, I'm sure the captains had to be involved in something like that happening right before bye week. But still,
I will say that's a messy start they're giving him. Your very first game as a starter in the NFL, you get to go play Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Make a break.
No, they're coming there.
Not to mention you're injury prone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your offensive line. Well, that's what they talked about on Jocks. They said that that Fitzpatrick's been sacked like 10 times, or 10 or so times in 6 games. And depending on who's doing the sack, if it's Aaron Darnold making that sack,
Yeah, his are pretty violent.
Tua's not a big guy like Fitzpatrick is.
And Fitzpatrick is a right-handed quarterback, so his blind side is on the left side of the line, where they've got some veterans. Tua being a lefty, their starting right tackle and starting right guard are rookies who have been shaky at best this year.
Good analysis.
They may be working on switching them right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't surprise me if they did just go ahead and switch them, because they should be able to play on either side.
Yeah.
The problem is that if Tua does get injured, then they got to switch in the middle of the game to go back to blocking for Fitzpatrick. Or if Tua performs poorly, they have to switch it back out.
Well, hopefully these $1 million athletes can figure it out.
Yeah, you'd think. You'd think.
Yeah.
Hell, Tom Brady don't even know what down it is. I felt so bad for that guy. Big TV 12 fan, you know. Right? He said, "What?" Unfortunate.
Alrighty. So I guess we can move on to Kent's game with Steven. And Steven did win. So Kent's back in his old ways.
1-5.
We can assess this game, but I do need to make a note. and AJ can attest to it. He saw it, and Will, I don't know how many of you have met Will. He saw it as well. I moved Joe Burrow out and Tannehill in. Now I might not have hit the save button, but I was positive I did, and that is the difference between the game. And I didn't even notice it until the afternoon games were rolling, and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? No, God damn it, no!"
The league commissioner, ladies and gentlemen, can't even verify his own lineup.
I mean, that's why you got to do it on the desktop, and it saves it automatically.
Yeah.
On the phone, you got to hit the save button.
I do it early
If
in
it's
the
on
week.
me, I should have double checked.
Yeah. Discount double check, you know.
Yeah.
That does suck, though. That's super frustrating.
Yeah. I mean,
but y'all really believe him? Because I don't. I think he's just.
Let's say your witness is AJ. I mean,
hey, look. Well, okay. My witness is AJ. So if he might lie and say that he didn't witness it. If anything, he would throw me under the bus. He definitely wouldn't lie to prop me up.
Well, I don't believe it until AJ comes here and says that it's true.
Yeah.
So, I feel like AJ intentionally avoids watching these for some reason.
I get that feeling kind of as well.
Yeah, so Kent, I actually believe you, but as far as other listeners and viewers, I feel like AJ as your witness brings your credibility down, not up.
Yeah, I get that. I understand. That makes
not for me.
Maybe I should have left having any witness out.
Oh, poor kid.
No, it was a bummer, but it in the long run wouldn't have made much of a difference. I've looked at the top of the league, and also my team has had some good games. One really big game, but for the most part, they're just even if I made the playoffs, which obviously I won't now, but 2 and 3 I might still could have. I would get stomped. I just don't have enough playmakers. Saquon going down early really hurt me, and then I just didn't draft wide receivers very well.
I'll trade you Smith-Schuster for Kittle.
No, thank you. Chase Claypool is the go-to guy in Pittsburgh now.
Man, he was a good get for whoever got him.
He's a freak athlete, too.
I think AJ got him.
I was prejudiced. I was like, this white boy ain't got to do anything. Wrong.
Yeah.
Really wrong.
Well, this week I really felt good about picking up Alexander Madison with Dalvin Cook being out, because after Dalvin Cook went out and all the playing time that Madison has gotten, even with Dalvin Cook healthy, he's been really good. And then I pick him up when he decides to completely shit the bed and Atlanta decides to wake the fuck up. Unlucky.
It's
home.
Weird. Julio Jones came back for the first time and had a weird, almost out of character game, because he's known for yards. He's not known for touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
His first catch was a touchdown. It was like a 60-yard touchdown.
You're thirsty.
And then Calvin Ridley still had a great game. So, if they have those two guys playing that well, they're a really tough team to handle. I don't think it's going to be consistent. But, yeah, you picked a bad week. That fluke bad week, I think. I think the Vikings are
I will say, as far as – yeah, they are. They are. But the rushing attack has been the one thing consistently good about them this year. They have been – I mean, Dalvin Cook's probably the best back in the league right now, at least statistically, and even just by the eye test. He looks like he's running better than everybody else. But speaking of running back, I'm super pumped about my James Robinson pickup, and I'm pretty pumped about him moving forward. Like, this year, he's not going to do much for me, but he is really solid. I mean, even on a terrible Jacksonville team, He runs hard. He catches really good out of the backfield. If you happen to find yourself watching a Jacksonville game, he's fun to watch.
I will keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a solid game this week. 11 points.
I'm sorry, Kent. It's tough to see.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Tough to see.
It happens.
Who
On
is?
your bench go off. Yeah, I mean, you had a 13, you had a 14.
I was going to say, who is
You get
Keenan
really good
Cole?
defense.
There are a couple of guys you could have switched
He-
out that would have made the difference.
Yeah.
That's got to be
But
like
the
a
other ones I wasn't going to. They're my bench guys. But I got
As far
Fulgham
as
this
we know.
past week because he's the only healthy receiver in Philadelphia, and he had a blow-up game. I actually think you can click on his game log, and I think he only has, with this week now underneath his belt, 3 active games, and 2 of those last 3,
Yeah.
he was the go-to guy, and he's had really big weeks.
Getting
Mhm.
a bunch of
Actually, even
targets.
his
Holy shit, 13 and
but
10.
I wasn't going to play him because I wanted to make sure that it was not a fluke. So I was going to play my consistent guys like Tyler Boyd, all consistent he is. But Keelan Cole Sr., Sean, I got him when I got James Robinson that same week. He had some really big games as well, but he's not a go-to guy. He's more like a utility slot guy. He's been in the league, I think, for 5 or 6 years. But turns out he's sneaky good at catching a lot of balls and sneaking in some touchdowns. His yards
saying,
are
and he
never
had-
huge.
That's a
Except for the
huge-
last
huge
game. I mean, the last game he got 9
Yeah.
targets and
Playing
143
from
yards.
behind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That is true.
I'm excited to talk about my waiver tight end pickup that I had this week out of necessity because my tight end was on a bye. So when we get to that, looking forward to talking about it.
Hopefully, it wasn't the one I picked up this week or last week because he did nothing for me. That was my
No,
0 in there.
No, this one was just – I think this week was the first time he had even been expected to produce whatsoever. And he came through for me big. But it didn't matter because I played a team that just was absolute trash, the lowest scoring team in the league. But I do like my pickup because it could give me some more options as a flex.
Well, anything else on this game?
On Steven's side of it, I would look out for Ronald Jones, whoever's playing. I mean, not that you can do anything about it, but
Yeah.
I think Ronald Jones is starting to take over in Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is starting to heat up. I think he's going to have more big games like that moving forward.
I think their offense as a whole is just going to keep getting better as they get better with chemistry because Gronk had a great game this week. Brady's not throwing for a ton of yards, but he's starting to just look like he knows what down it is. And they just win when they just win when he plays like this.
Yeah, New England's loss was so un-New England-esque. I don't even know what to think about it. I think Cam Newton's the one that did it. Would Tom Brady have won that game? Probably.
All right. So we're going to move on to Chase's game. And Chase, he didn't win. What
Lost.
happened?
Well,
He didn't play the lowest scoring team in the league this week. That's what happened.
some things,
It's like
things happen.
pretty much
Things happen.
pretty much your average score right there.
Yeah. I just couldn't do it this week, but I still have many things as being the number one in my division. Even though I am tied for number one, number one's still number one. I don't know.
Second.
Juju Smith-Schuster is atrocious. I don't understand. He got paid last year. Do something, man.
Of course, that game was pretty much finished fairly early.
Yeah. Hopefully,
And,
Devontae Parker and Tua click. That's something to reach for.
Well, honestly, Dolphins receivers, you have no idea what's going to happen now because it could be a completely different dynamic after Tua starts.
And then, of course, I dropped Gronk. AJ picks him up. Looks what the fuck's happening.
That was a good.
Every decision I've made this year that has turned out for the negative, which every decision I've made has turned out negative. But I've always asked the advice of the man at the bottom of the screen. That guy. He sounds so knowledgeable. But then, you look at his team.
Dude, it has been a bad year for me, man. Even calling against the spreads and stuff on both NFL and college. So it's beyond just individual players. And the thing is, I call what I see based on stats and trends. It's just if I make the call, it's for sure going to go to shit.
It changes.
So
it changes
whatever
the
I say to
stats
the
and
opposite.
trends when he makes a call. It's like when Trump tweets and the stock market reacts.
Yeah.
Kent makes a statement. Just the whole chance
Okay,
has
so
changed.
for example,
The odds makers are
Louisville
listening. All right,
has-
what does Kent say?
Louisville has the worst defense probably in the Power 5, maybe aside from Kansas. Notre Dame doesn't have an explosive offense, but they're far more talented across the field than Louisville, and the points per 17.5. I was like, okay, Notre Dame's going to cover that because Louisville is like worse than a wet paper towel. I mean, they're awful. And then 12-7 is how Notre Dame wins.
Yeah, what a weird score too. Yeah, it's almost a funny score under the circumstances.
I don't got it this year, guys. I just don't got it.
Sports, they're impossible.
They are.
Sorry, my dogs keep barking.
My dog only groans, and I don't think you guys can hear it.
Yeah, Suge doesn't talk a lot. Let's see some bitches on the road. He's all over it.
I tried to put mine on the couch behind me so you guys could see her, but she didn't like it because she's blind. She's blind, so she can't get down by herself. And she's like, "Nah, Dad, fuck that. Put me back down."
No, I'm back on the ground.
Come on, get here. Good boy. There he is. Sit. Don't lick. Boy.
He licked and sat. He did do it.
Yep.
You're fine. Good boy.
Just have dogs sit in as hosts next week.
It's just
Yeah.
He's easily
That is a
distracted.
good-looking dog, Chase.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is.
He saved us,
Who saved who? What do? All right. Anything else on this game?
I don't know.
See, Debo Samuel came back. Wasn't he hurt starting of the year?
Sam Fran
Yeah, pretty much if you play wide receiver for San Francisco, you have been hurt for multiple weeks at some point this season already.
Running back too.
Yep.
I got some great
yeah.
defense.
They have been injury riddled.
I just got Mostert back this week, and
now he's good.
again.
Yeah, I have him in another league, and I had him and Tevin Coleman. I drafted them both, and they both got hurt. So
Yeah.
because I think Tevin Coleman's on IR now.
So many IRs.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Alrighty. Anything else? You guys got anything?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
Literally.
So let's move on to the team I'm most scared about, and that'd be AJ's team.
The Weasels at it again.
They're pretty good this year. They actually started off slow. I mean, he's won. Obviously he's number one out of the league and wins 5-1. But I don't know where he's at scoring. I know 2 weeks ago he was actually in the middle of the pack. He just pulled some pretty good matches, but they're picking up speed now. He's starting to score more.
He's above average,
and
but he's
I mean-
not. He's not at the top.
Yeah.
So we still got a shot.
Yeah, if you see his team, it's a very good team. The weaknesses probably David Johnson's inconsistent, but he's still a starting running back. Doesn't really have a solid tight end right now. If Tanya doesn't catch a touchdown, then he's pretty ineffective. Well, Hayden Hurst is good, and Hayden Hurst was on a bye. That's why he went and got Tanyan. 6.8 for a tight end these days is really good. Now, there's not a lot of holes in his team, though. I mean, he's pretty solid everywhere. It's a good team.
Okay, so I didn't see Adrian Peterson had 12 points this week. That's more for me personally, but that's a solid game for him too, behind DeAndre Swift.
Wait, so he had 8 points?
What?
11.8.
11.8 points. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 11.8.
He's done really well. He's got 14, 7, 22, 11, and 15.
The first game of the year,
been real good.
maybe it was week. Yeah, the first or second game of the year, he had 100 yards and had a great game. But I mean, they're just splitting it up so much, and I haven't heard his name, but that's on me for not really looking into it too much. When you're 2 and 3, you don't really look too deeply.
Yeah. What's heartbreaking about Adrian Peterson is he still looks sometimes like old school Adrian Peterson. Like sometimes when he's running, he gives you about 10 to 15 yards of classic AP. But if he gets loose into the secondary, he does not have any kind of breakaway speed anymore. He is going to get caught.
He lost a gear. Yeah. It's just constant hip and knee issues. So nothing like like torn ACLs is just constant wear and tear.
But 10 to 15, he's still got it. I mean, he looks good.
Yeah,
I'm happy for him because I thought his career was going to go die in Washington.
Yeah, I did too.
I didn't even know he played in Washington.
Wasn't he there for like 2 years?
2 years.
Really?
I think when Geis got hurt, that was when they brought him in. Or maybe it was before that.
Can you pull up Brady's stats
I
for this
think
game?
you're right.
I'm just curious because he's only got 14.64. I know he didn't have a lot of yards.
So let's see.
6 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He really didn't have that many yards.
No, like his season overall, it's just that he's other than week 1, he's just efficient. He's not making a ton of huge mistakes, and he's got a solid team around him, and they trust him. So not a lot of yards though. He's only broken 300 yards one time.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he's started to embrace that he doesn't need to be the Tom Brady that he was in New England for most of his career. He needs to move the sticks on 3rd and longs, and otherwise he needs to just keep the ball moving forward and make sure that there's enough pressure off of the run game, because Ronald Jones has started to cut loose now, and I think that's the Tampa Bay we're going to see moving forward, at least for now, because he really doesn't have the arm that he used to. I mean, it's not quite Drew Brees shell of himself-esque, but I mean, watching him throw some of the deeper balls, there's a lot of zip off of him now.
It's more of a system quarterback than a Tom Brady. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a very different team all around. He's still got the wheels he always had, though. And by wheels, I mean a 6-flat 40-yard dash.
I was about to say, like he's running in molasses.
He had a great tweet last year. He said, "Me and Lamar Jackson, him on rollerblades in the grass tomorrow." Just like, that's all.
Dallas, his
He had
bench
a great tweet after. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to talk about Tom Brady, unrelated stuff. Just speaking of great tweets that Tom Brady had after LeBron James and the Lakers won the NBA championship. He photoshopped LeBron James' head on his body of this.
I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, he seems to be able to self-deprecate pretty well. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Chase. About Dallas's bench.
I don't know. I was just filling in the void. His bench is as good as mine, which is not very good.
Let's say he had 2 people on his bench score,
Yeah.
and only 2 of them were on buys.
Yeah.
Well,
I would
Christian
take
McCaffrey's on
injuries.
IR.
Christian's come back.
He's coming.
Uh-oh.
He's come back, or he's coming back.
He's coming. I think they said they're going to keep him out this week, but they're looking forward to a week after this upcoming weekend. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Boy.
He is. I do like watching his highlights. He is an exciting player to watch.
He is.
And Justin Jefferson, sorry, Bama fans. That cat is something else.
Yeah. Yep.
As long as he stays in
500.
bounds and catches the ball, I'm fine with it.
That was Thaddeus Moss, I believe, that you have your bone to pick with.
Okay. But
Yeah,
still,
Those stats though, that's crazy. I mean,
yeah.
what is he? 21. He's going to finish with 1,500 yards receiving this year.
Ridiculous.
Mhm. And on a garbage Minnesota team. I mean,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins
Yeah.
throwing him the ball.
And playing on the same team with Thielen right now, who's one
Yeah,
of the top
yeah. He's
receivers
not
in
even
the
the
league.
go-to guy. Yeah,
I think he kind of is. I think
I think
they're getting pretty much the same number of targets, and he's producing a little better.
Mhm. Well, I think that Thielen works best with a guy opposite of him because he's not a supreme athlete. He's just a really savvy route runner and really knows how to create his own space, and he's got great hands. So when it was him and Diggs, they both had number 1 fantasy level receiver points, and now that Jefferson's there, it's probably helping Thielen out.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, but I do like Justin Jefferson despite what he did to Alabama. I don't
And
know
then
what his stats were in that
They
game.
keep saying they beat him. They only beat him by 5 points.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-mm. Alabama had 2 losses
Well,
last
and then
year
this-
for a total of
This
8
year, the
points.
retribution that Nick Saban is going to rain down upon those poor bastards.
They're not great this year, but we will see. I never make any claims like that until afterwards.
Yeah, I was shocked they beat Georgia after that first half, and then I don't know what they did or said to Alabama's defense, but
You know,
they
in the
they
first
need to
half,
keep it up because
So in the-
all the Ole Miss game and the first half of Georgia, I was worried.
So the first half, even
I
though
think what Nick-
they were. Go ahead, Ken.
Well, I think what Nick said to the defense was, I stared COVID in the face and I scared the shit out of it and made it run away. So think what I can do to actual physical human beings.
I actually felt pretty good after the first half. I didn't expect them to just keep Georgia scoreless in the second half, but I was just like, they've scored on these weird plays that Alabama is not going to give up another one of, even though they did
Yeah.
the week before. I was just like, I don't think Georgia can keep this momentum, and fortunately that turned out correct, but I wouldn't have been surprised either way.
I just seeing that Ole Miss game, and that first half it went in tied, and I thought, okay, they're going to go to the locker room, they're going to make their adjustments, and then it's going to be 63-21. Well, then we came out, and then it ended up a shootout, and I thought, well, and then the half at Georgia, and I'm like, yeah, I got fooled last week. Oh, I don't want to get fooled this week, but
It-
they made
it
the
just didn't-
adjustments.
It just didn't feel the same for me because at halftime of the Ole Miss game, I did not have that feeling like they're gonna be able to pull this out. I was like, whoever has the ball last is gonna win this game,
Talk
which
about
was
that.
basically the case.
See, Bo Nix will be great by the Iron Bowl, and we know that Alabama's defense is very porous. So there's a good chance like we could pull this out.
And
I don't make any claims about stuff like that. I just refuse.
There is a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
Okay. All right. So we got Cody's game. What the hell happened to Trent's team?
Yeah, see, my team did all right, but his team was terrible. So
Julio Jones. I tried to get. Who did I try to get from him? I tried to get Gronkowski back. Trent had Gronkowski, not
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's looked at his trade. Trent, I sent you an amazing offer, man. Forgot who it was, but it was 2 players for price of 1.
I don't think he could have. I don't think he could have changed anything on his bench to make the difference in the game. His whole team is no, none of them.
no, his team just
really
died this week.
Yeah,
Sometimes it happens.
Negative points on the defense. A receiver with 0 points, and then Ezekiel Elliott had 2 fumbles.
That's terrible.
Yeah, my team had done a lot. My team did 2 of those, so I had 2 people with negative points last week. But check out my tight end Trey Burton. Anybody know him? Me either. But he had 18 points. I picked him up on the waivers, and he was not the top guy on the waivers. He was way down the list, and I just kept reading. But he, for some reason, he had a rushing touchdown.
I feel like he's played in Cincinnati before. No, he was a really high draft pick for Chicago. Just big athletic guy. I can't remember where he's from, but I think this is only his 3rd or 4th year.
He's young. I basically picked the most athletic guy of the options, just like he's got the most chances to score, and they handed it off to him, and he scored early in the game, so that was a good start. Tight end's probably my strongest. Tight end's my strongest position now because I got this guy who seems to be taking over as my backup. The rest of my team is totally average. Waller is probably top 5 in the league at tight end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dang. Of course, he did get Andy
He's dipped
Dalton.
a little.
Yeah.
But he'll come back.
And I've got players on my bench who should be quite good, and no one can stay healthy. Deontay Johnson. Gordon. Yeah. So he had a DUI and an injury on the same week. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. Jarvis Landry is just one of those who's yeah, that's actually perfect for that. Yeah, Deontay Johnson looked really good at the beginning of the season, but they have a lot of receivers there, and they're throwing it to all of them. So
yeah.
And then Nyheim Hines.
Yeah, they've got 4 guys who could start almost anywhere between Juju, Johnson, Washington, and now Chase Claypool. It's just stacked.
Yeah, and I think so Melvin Gordon and I think Melvin Gordon may be the only running back I have on the team who's like the main guy without 3 other guys competing for his position. But Nyheim Hines, Malcolm Brown, they're all behind other. Mostert would be, but he cannot stay healthy this year. He had a great first half. He had pretty much all of his points this week in the first half, and then he was injured.
Raheem. What is it, Coming to America? What's his name? Hakeem?
Yeah. Hakeem.
Hakeem.
They're doing a second one of those.
Are they? I saw that.
It probably would have been out this year.
Nice.
Was it Amazon that picked it up? Because I think I think Amazon bought it for like 125 million or something.
Sold.
Yeah. Because it was at like Universal or one of those places, but with the movie theaters the way they are, I think Amazon ended up buying it up.
Nice.
I'll watch it there whenever it comes out in
Yeah.
2024 or so. Eddie Murphy's like 65 years old.
They could go ahead and film another Life movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Now we'll move on to Harrison and Matthews, and Harrison surprised the hell out of me here.
Harrison has outscored. Harrison is right in the middle of the league as far as score. He's outscored me. He's outscored me, Chase, and Kent so far this year, and he's 1-5.
Of course, Matt Ryan helped him out this week, and Kenyon Drake. Wow.
Yeah, he had a great game. We were talking about him last week when I saw him out there balling. I was like, man.
Yeah, we all kind of we didn't have a lot of kind words for him last week.
Yeah.
Sean did. Sean
True.
was back.
Yeah.
I just knew he was good in college, but seeing him in NFL, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just the Miami thing where Miami just didn't know how to use him, and that was it. Or I don't know. Of course, he's a roller coaster.
Last year,
though.
he looked great. He looked really good, and then to start this year, he's looked stuck in mud. He doesn't even look fast, and that's his big thing. Is that guy hits the hole faster than anybody when he's at full speed, man. I mean, he hits a hole.
Yeah. He is explosive. He's had a ton
I mean, I
of
guess
carries
he's still
this
been pretty
year, though.
solid.
Yeah, he has a ton of carries.
All right, yeah, I guess that's his YPC sucks, but
Yeah.
it's really not
13
even that bad.
35.
He hasn't had that bad of a season.
Mm-mm.
Of course, this was his first game over 100 yards, but it was 164 yards.
Yeah.
And you see his average yards of carry.
Well, and it's a Cliff Kingsbury offense. I mean, they like to throw the ball. So
Yeah, I guess we got to talk about Derrick Henry. This is one of
Dude.
the most
But Kenyon
insane
Drake
games
can go off
I've ever
and
seen.
be a receiver.
Man, Derek.
Wow.
He's impressive, man.
212
Yeah, and that-
yards.
Yeah, he had another 52 receiving. It was
Oh.
one. It was one reception for a touchdown.
Wow. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, so it wasn't a touchdown. I thought.
Yeah,
I thought it
two
was.
for 52.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
gonna
one must have been for like 1 or 2 yards.
I'm not gonna say anything too good about him because I don't want to curse this season, but he is fun to watch play.
And also scary. Scary to watch.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Sean, you were talking about AJ's team being scary. I know Matthew took an L this week, but if you look up and down his starters just right here on the screen, that is a very formidable team.
Well, especially with Kareem Hunt by himself. Is Chubb coming back this year, or is he out for the year?
I think he's season. I think it's season ending.
Well,
I'm not positive. I'd have to go look.
He
it
might.
up.
Yeah.
So you got Kareem Hunt back there by himself, basically. You got Mike Evans with
I could be
a
wrong on
Brady
that.
that's lighting up, and AJ Brown too. Isn't he their number one this year?
He is, and he's having a hell of a year. If you want to check out his game stats, I was actually wondering that earlier.
There she is.
Yeah, so he must have been.
Oh, he was hurt.
Hurt, yeah.
Okay, so these last two guys, I just know I've heard his name called a lot. You know, I pay attention somewhat to the Titans passing game for Tannehill's sake, but Yeah, I think that he was slated to come in as their number one guy, and that he got rave reviews in training camp.
Was he the one that was at Ole Miss with Metcalf?
Yes. That's the one.
Okay. 'Cause I remember that then they had two. God damn it, cat. Sorry. I keep setting the damn cat on the floor and it keeps hopping right back up on here.
I keep seeing the tail just in the corner of the screen.
So,
Even so, Abby's right in front of me, but she's right off camera. She knows how to stay out of the way, despite being completely blind.
well, that one's a camera whore. See, there she comes again. Oh man. Well, that was the last game, but yeah, I guess Kent, you are right. Matthews sitting pretty good. He's only got 2 losses.
Yeah.
Can you before we jump on out of this or the whole thing, what is the rankings score wise more than record wise? If you could pull that up for me.
Why does that matter?
if it'll go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know asking anything of the ESPN site is dicey at best.
You can never hit back.
Yeah, I figured that out last week when that you don't have to go back. That you could just go up to the top and move to the different games.
Yeah.
And when I saw you doing it, and I was like, oh, I don't have to go back, and I could just go to the next game.
Yeah, I found out the same way you did by trying to go back.
All right, so I don't know. Can we do it? There we go. So Kent, you are 11th in scoring on points for.
Looks like I am pretty much in the middle. I will take it. Slightly below halfway down.
I wish they would do the ranking here. So Kent, you're 9th in scoring, and Harrison is at the very bottom, next to Chase.
By 3 points.
4-1.
Is that what you were looking for, Kent? Is that to point that out?
No, I really wasn't trying to shame Chase's points. Record is a record. I just wanted to see what the top heavy teams look like more than anything. I figured that Hicks, after his first 3 weeks, I think were just absolute monsters. I figured he'd be pretty high up there. He's actually, everybody's closed the gap on him. He's had some down weeks, I guess, because he was at one point like 150 points ahead.
Yeah, and from AJ all the way down to you, Kent, is only a 58-point spread too. So we're all pretty close in the middle. And then there's a pretty big jump up to Steven and then Matthew. And then
really there's only 3 teams that are pretty much completely out of it. And that's me, Nathan, and Harrison, because it would take complete collapses to climb in there. But pretty much, like I said, that losing to Steven this week, and as soon as I saw what had happened, I was so upset because 2 and 3, the difference between 1 and 4 and 2 and 3, all the 2 and 3s are still in it because of how jumbled up that is. Because it only takes the top 2 out of the division, and then it takes the next top 2 scorers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 1 game back from actually being able to make playoffs. And we're at the halfway point.
Yep.
And it doesn't really matter if Sean beats me this week. I'm still going to be at the top of my division.
Oh man. But
the benefit of playing in a division with me and Harrison.
It's great. Really good.
I have been hearing some rumblings and a few news articles that there might be more of the COVID cases. So what happens if there is a game postponed or anything like that? Does it count as a bye? I think ESPN came out with some big long thing, but I didn't want to read it, so I didn't know if y'all knew anything about it or how they
seems
set
to
it
have
up.
gone- So far, it's gone both ways. They've had some that ended up counting as a bye, and then some that they played on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think they know.
Yeah. And I've thought about trying to do something for like super last minute cancellations. Like I think the Patriots game this past weekend was almost a last minute, or not almost a last. It was up in the air until Sunday, like when they were like no, or maybe Saturday evening. I don't know. I'll get with everybody and see if we can't make at least some kind of emergency protocol for scoring for all of us. Because I mean, if it's 2 or 3 hours before the game or anything within 24 hours of the game, and then you get an alert, and I don't know, 24 hours might be too much. 12 hours maybe. Anyways, we'll decide on a time limit and all that. But some of those last minute cancellations will be completely outside of people's control, and they shouldn't get zeros for that.
Yeah.
What'd you
Although
do?
Calvin Johnson one time was not on the designated injury list, not one time 1 week. One time about 5 years ago. Practice full, practice full, practice full, practice full. His ass healthy scratched on me for an ankle injury at 11:49, and I was driving and got the update and couldn't get the app to load on my phone to get his ass out of my lineup.
That's unfortunate.
Mm-mm.
$40. Holy fuck.
Well, alrighty. Anybody got anything else?
I wish everyone the best of luck this week. Except for you, Kent. I don't wish you anything.
That's pretty bad considering he's playing
Doesn't matter.
me, but he's not wishing you any luck.
Wish me all the luck. It won't matter.
I'll screw up.
All right. Whose channel is it next week? Is it Kent's?
Yeah.
Kent's channel next week. All right. Well, I guess we can end this broadcast now.